Morning all, I'm Johnny B and welcome to Sunny Coast Celtic episode 28. Look, I thought I'd bring you this episode just in regards to the news that is broke through everywhere now that Brendan Rodgers has resigned. Now there's going to be a lot of different opinions on this. Did he resign, or did the board say to him, look, if you don't resign we're going to let you go? So they maybe gave him a choice or whatever. On the statement for Dermot Desmond, it was a very complimentary statement. He actually thanked Brendan for all his hard work, but he reckons that he started all the toxic vibes in the changing room and everything else through the whole club. And over the last few weeks, you can see it happening. Every interview that Brendan was given, it was getting worse and worse and worse. He was blaming a load of other... He was starting to sound like fucking Russell Martin. Like when things are going against him, he was sticking up for himself rather than the rest of the team and the club as a whole. Now, let's get this out of the way. He has done a brilliant job for Celtic the first time he was here, and he left on kind of bad terms that time. He's came back and he's done well again. But 6 weeks ago or whatever, you could see it. It was after the Kairat Almaty game. We knew something wasn't right. There was nobody smiling at interviews. He wasn't enjoying his interviews. You could see it all going pear-shaped. Now, from that day on, if you look back at some of my podcasts, I've always said, look, we need to get behind the manager and the team. But you can always see that I think he kind of cut his nose off to spite his face, Brendan. I think he was happy that all the fans were against the board because it gave him an easy ride here. Because if we were taking the board, they were under pressure rather than Brendan. But the board do not pick the team that was going on to the park to face Almaty or anyone else who get beat by or drew with or anything. Now, the board can't take that on the chin. Aye, okay, they never helped in the transfer market. As I say, I don't know who got rid of the players like Kuhn. Did they want to go, or did the Celtic get rid of him? Was it already starting then? Could these players see that Brendan was starting to get on their tits a little bit, or whatever it be? We don't know. We're no privy to what happens inside the club. We can only go by what's happening on the park. Now, Brendan for ages had said, look, he's responsible for the players on the park, but the players that he had were still really good players. They cost a lot of money. They could play in any other team and play well. We were playing shit as a team, and Brendan was sending us out there. So it was him that was making the rules. It was him that was picking the team. It was telling them how to play. If he tells a team how to play, they're not going to go out there and do something else. So the style of football and everything just went downhill. And then I think the Almaty game, I don't think Brendan was hurt as any of us Celtic fans were. We were raging. I think he's probably thinking, well, there you go, that's the board's fault, and he was getting away with it. And it just proves. Now, they weren't a good side, Almaty. Dundee's not a good side. Hearts are playing alright, but we should have enough to beat Hearts. The games that we've lost and drawn, that's on Brendan, and it's on the team and the players. It's no on the board. And I get that the board never helped and we could have spent more money. But to spend more money, who comes out the team? Do you drop Benji? So you're buying players that you're not going to use, because if other players come in, they're not going to be in the team. We've got enough firepower in that team to go alright. I just don't know what's happening. I'm kind of happy that it's happened, because now there'll be a freshness comes into Celtic. Martin O'Neill's not going to take shit off the players, the board, or anybody else. He'll come in there and he'll want a good team on the park, and he'll want them to play the way he plays. So we Sean Maloney, I know he's done it and been there. He's been no bad manager. He's not won it, but he's not been at any big clubs. But under the guidance of Martin O'Neill, I reckon the two of them will go alright. I'm hoping, and here's a thing I don't get. Postecoglou's not on a job at the moment, Big Ange. Why can't we just go and get him? Do we not want him? Or I think he's done a great job at Celtic. He's bit off a wee bit more than he can chew by going to Spurs. Nottingham Forest were never going to help him out. They're not a great side at the moment. I don't care who you put in there. They're not a great side. They'll be at the bottom of that Premiership all season, trying to fight for survival. So Ange probably just jumped into that job without thinking. But He knows what Celtic's all about, and we know what he's like. He knows a lot of the players that are there. It's just we can't do any worse than putting him in. Give him a contract to the end of the season. You know, he's not going to be looking for money now. He's got 15 million for his last 2 jobs or something, and he hardly was in the job. So why don't I get Martin O'Neill and I get Sean Maloney, but have they been in touch with Ange? Because do they not want him back? I think he's a great manager. His football is fantastic, and he could take us to the next level again, which is the next level for me right now is just winning games in Scotland. We've got a big game next weekend. We want to be ready for that. We don't want to get knocked out of that. But I think the Falkirk game in a couple of nights' time, and then the Rangers game on Saturday, we'll get a lift from Brendan stepping down, because if he was making it, I can see with his interviews that he wasn't happy, and that the way he was talking came across everybody else. You can tell the player. I said weeks ago, the players need to start doing interviews with a smile on their face. We were still winning games even though we were pretty crap. We were playing dog shit and we still picked up points. Now we're playing the same way, but we're starting to lose the games that we were picking up the points. And that's on Brendan. I don't understand his teams. I said before the Hearts game that I like Donovan, he's good going forward, but for that bit of experience, you needed Ralston in there, because he's played Dane Murray and he's played Kobe Donovan, 2 boys, and they just attacked the 2. And what happened? Dane Murray just collapsed. He crumbled, and then you've got the young boy annoyed, and that guy just got at him all the time. I'm not saying Ralston would have been any better, but he's got much more experience. He might have kicked him before he got the ball. He might not let him get to the ball. There's just different ways, but to put the 2 young boys in there in that cauldron of Tynecastle was really, really hard. Austin Trusty, why was he not playing? Is he injured? Pusey could have picked him. I get maybe he's trying to give Dane Murray a game, but I think Brendan, in this moment in time, was putting teams out that could damage us more than could help us, and he didn't help the boys' confidence or nothing. Brendan, he should have went 4 or 5 weeks ago if he felt like this, and I think he did. But he was digging in his heels saying, no, I walked away the last time. Again, the board should have made a big decision. According to Dermot Desmond, this has been going on for ages. This toxic shit about the club has been going on for ages. So why did you wait 6 weeks to do something about it? It should have been, if somebody in your work is causing chaos between all the other employees and they're not doing the right thing, they're not backing you when they said they would, they've signed contracts with this and that, and they're not doing it, well, you get them out the door straight away, and then that stops the rot. But that rot was just let go and let go and let go. You can see the players aren't happy. I mean, that team the other night was, I don't know, even these substitutions were like, it doesn't matter, just empty the fucking bench and get them on. Balaquisha was garbage when he comes on. Is there a player in there? I don't think so. Who made that decision? We go back to analytics. Who's picking the players that are coming to Celtic? I know Brendan said they've said that he gets the last say on it. Is he getting the last say? Because would they have picked Balaquisha? Would they have picked Engels? I don't know. You're looking at these players and going, unless something drastic happens, unless he's stopping them from playing football, we're just looking stupid. So again, you look at that team the other night. Why did they take Tanek Tiaf and put on Balaquisha? I don't know. I think Brendan, it was time to go, mate, and you've gone now. So thanks for everything you've done for us, but we need to move on as a club and as a team, because our results were just going to keep going down and down and down and down, because you didn't have the fucking what's the word I'm looking for? He's lost that momentum now. He didn't want to be there. He lost everything there. He says he's still enthusiastic. He's not. You can see it. You can see everything he does is not enthusiastic. He's just going through the motions, and we don't need that at Celtic Park because it shows on the park. I thought McGregor the other night in the first half was brilliant, and then they actually worked him out. Hearts, you got that wee, as I say, that wee Cammy Devlin just kept kicking McGregor, kept kicking everybody. We don't have that type of player. We've not got that wee player that can go about there just like a wee ferret and just kicking everything, shoving everything. We don't have it, and they've done it to us. We couldn't retaliate because we don't have that type of player in there. So I don't know what's going to happen. Is Martin O'Neill, how's he going to change this team? Because in the actual, he's going to be injured. Alistair Johnson's injured, so it'll be strange to see what he's going to do, and I hope he changes it up, because Martin O'Neill's obviously watching the same games as us, and he must know that Benji's playing out of position, so get him back in his own position. Shin Yamada, he looked a wee bit alright at times. His touch, we can't do any worse than trying him out against Falkirk, surely. Get him through the middle, get a bit of confidence. I would put Tenecti. See, Brendan again contradicted himself. He says he's one of the players that can play on either wing when he first signed him, and then all of a sudden, because it didn't suit him and he was pissed off at the board, he decided that no, he can only play in the left wing. Well, I've been talking about this for ages. I've said to you, Benji can play through the middle, centre forward. Why can't he? He'd be better there than he would be in the fucking right wing. So anybody who wants to slate me can slate me, but you can clearly see it. I can see it. Fucking Stevie Wonder could see that. He could play up front for us because we didn't have anything at the moment. We let Ida go, and I keep going on about that. Why the fuck did we let him go? That's a shambles, whoever's decision that was. Was that Brendan's? Maybe he just fell out with him and Ida's went, well, I'm not getting in that team, I'm just going to move on. So we can't have a manager that's going to upset all the players. And I'm not saying we put out the red carpet for the players, but we have to look after them. We have to look after your prize assets, and we haven't done that. We've looked at an absolute shambles of a team over the last, since, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. We've been lucky to win a lot of games. But it was on Brendan not to beat Kairat Almaty. He picks the team, he picks the way the team play, and that was on him. That wasn't on anybody else. They are a fucking second division team, and we couldn't beat them with a team full of fucking superstars, as in the Scottish League. We've got the best pick of the best players, we've got the best players, and we couldn't break down a team over 180 minutes, plus fucking injury time, and then penalties were shit. So it's an absolute joke. So you have to take it on the chin sometimes, and Brendan started to blame everybody else bar himself on these wee kind of sneaky comments, and I get it, but nah, we're bigger than one person. Celtic Football Club is bigger than one person. So I'm looking forward to this wee change. I don't know if, so here's the thing, does Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney, if they do well, if they keep them on to the end of the season and they win the treble, do we keep them on full time? Aye, of course you've got to, but you've got a manager there and Ange Postecoglou who's out of a job, knows the club. I think it's a no-brainer. You bring him back, definitely. You could keep Martin on in some capacity. He might not like that. He might like to be in charge rather than just in the background. But he's 73-year-old now or something, Martin. So is he going to? He'll do all right for us. I just see a bit of freshness coming in this team. He'll get them moving. Hopefully, he plays players in the right position. And if so, poor Benji, right? We're all blaming him for missing chances and all that, but he's the one player that's went, right, okay, I'll move out there, or I'll have to move out there. Engels is a £11.5 million player, and he's showed us absolutely nothing. You can't just have a player that's good at corners and free kicks in your team. He's got to give us more. I'm looking and thinking, McGregor is getting the blame for everything, and it's because he's got nobody round about him. Hatate, get him out of the team. Or did all of these players just not want to play for Brendan anymore? We'll never know. We will see in the next few weeks. If Hatate's playing, if Engels is playing and they up their game, we start winning games, we go, well, hang on, maybe they've got a bit pissed off with Brendan as well. So anyway, it's big news. I couldn't believe that this morning when I woke up to that, and I went, wow, that was just out of the blue. But it's probably a good thing, and it's a blessing in disguise. So anyway, I'll please do us a favour, hit the subscribe button. Any comments, they would be welcome as well, and the like. So I'll talk to you before the Falkirk game, but I just wanted to have my say on what I thought and what I'm thinking. So yeah, feel free to comment, and hail, hail.